Don't like this cover much. Captain America 27. The cover feels sloppy. This is the closing part of the opening story arc in Stan Jurgensen's run on Captain America. We have some better Andy Cue Ball art on this splash page, with Captain America fighting some racist yo-yos from Idaho. And then we have a double spread. Our villain, A.I.M, like on the cover, he has strapped Falcon Man and another man to missiles containing anthrax that he intends to destroy America with. Cartoonishly evil Nazi bad guy. I have said in previous parts, most readers do not have flattering opinions on this run, but I like it more than most. I think it is an argument of what is worse to you, mediocre Captain America comics or bad Captain America comics. I have read so many bad Captain America stories. There hasn't been a good new Captain America story in forever. And so something like this, I am observing and seeing all the things people don't like about it. There's a lot of snappy patter. It's very hollow action movie dialogue throughout. There's a lot of splash images. And the plots are simplistic and boiled down to hero must stop bad guy. If the last 20 or 30 years of Captain America comics were just this, maybe you would have a point. But this is, while imperfect, closer to my idea of Captain America than that time they made his girlfriend into Hillary Clinton in an Iron Man armour. I'm not even talking about something as quaint as who is Captain America. That is another discussion entirely, but regardless of who is in the costume, there have not been any good Captain America stories in ages. So here we have Captain America fight A.I.M, and Andy Cue Ball's artwork is fascinating to me. The quality of it is inconsistent, but he can nail stuff. And then sometimes, like the cover, he makes all the good pieces look like flukes. The fight is generally done well, even with some extreme angling and emphasis on some of the kineticism. We have a sequence that provoked me into serious contemplation. A.I.M, he is holding Captain America's shield, which he has defaced with a swastika. And Captain America's actions here are, I don't know, I'm not sure. He grabs A.I.M's arm, protected by his shield, and holds it under the exhaust of the launching missiles. He does this so the heat burns the graffiti off his shield. But obviously the flames, they stand to injure A.I.M. This feels a bit cold and detached, like the exact thing I hated about the Captain America comics that came before this run. This, though, I don't know how I feel. It's less severe, definitely, but I might be trying to kid myself into thinking that Captain America wasn't aiming to maim Hate-Man, or that he knew his shield was going to protect him. And maybe I am just making excuses for Stan Jurgensen. Excuses that I didn't make for Martin Quaid. And on the next page, we do see that Hate-Man, he incurred some serious injury from it. Captain America, he has his shield back now. And this could have been the lamest resolution to a threat ever, because he throws his shield at the warheads. Thankfully, his plan wasn't to take the missiles down with his shield, but instead free Falcon Man. And then Falcon Man, he is the one who is able to stop this attack. This is a great chance for Falcon Man to stand out in this story. We get to see him fly after these missiles and then destroy them or whatever. And he saves the other person tied to one. But the thing is, we don't see that. All of that happens off panel. This big moment that would make Falcon Man's inclusion in the story feel warranted. We don't get to see it. So maybe this isn't the best issue to cover Falcon Man. But I do have some things I want to say. Falcon Man was the last good thing from the Silver Age Captain America. Or he was the only good thing from one of the worst periods of Captain America. He was created by Stanley Lee and John Coleman. He was the artist of the issue. I think Junior Senior was involved in some form with Falcon Man's creation. Basically, after Jim Strunky's story on Captain America, it was downhill fast for 40 or so issues. Falcon Man is the only worthwhile thing to come from then. He immediately graduated to co-star status, and oh yeah, I would be remiss to not say he is the second major black Marvel superhero, second only to Black Panther. I don't mind Falcon Man. I've never read a Falcon Man story and been in love with the guy, but as part of Captain America's world, I like him. He's a nice ally for Captain America. He's a good partner. It's a good pairing. He presents different viewpoints and different storylines. When they finally gave him wings, that was a big step up. That is when Falcon Man became an actually decent character. It never ceases to amaze me that for almost 60 issues, he did not have wings. He's called Falcon Man. It's like the one thing he should obviously have. He joined the Avengers. He had his own solo story in Marvel Premiere. He had backup features in some Captain America issues too. And then he soon had a mini-series. All of this is to say that I never liked most those stories. My favourite Falcon Man story, my favourite direction for him, is one that never got going. For a time, he was set to embark on a political career. I think that is wonderful, and it makes sense for the character, and it is unique, and it would work great with Captain America stories, or even if they wanted to do another Falcon Man miniseries. But the story was quietly abandoned one day. I say that is a great story because it makes sense for the character. What doesn't make sense for the character is making him into Captain America. Falcon Man has never expressed any desire to fill the shoes of Steve Rogers. The very idea of Falcon Man as a hero is that he himself is representing his people. Falcon Man is to the kids of Harlem what Captain America is to others. If people of colour do not feel represented by Captain America, which is honestly a bit shitty because colour or background do not affect Captain America's ideals and views. But if people feel unrepresented by Captain America, they have Falcon Man. They have their own hero who is also Captain America's closest friend. Falcon Man represents the unrepresented. I don't mind a black Captain America at all. I mind Falcon Man as Captain America because it is out of character and a betrayal of the core idea of why Falcon Man exists. I hate Bucky Man as Captain America too. Despite some very bad writing around it, not so much the story that introduced him, but the stuff after that, I think Isaiah Bradley is decent enough. I've no problem with him existing, or that retcon, or there being a black Captain America. I would love a writer, well, a good writer, to come along and do untold stories of that Captain America, or find a way to tell stories with that Captain America. But I don't know. I always get a bit fidgety when the topic I am steering towards is race. At the end of the day, it boils down to me wanting better stories with these characters. There's no reason that Falcon Man cannot be a great character. He has got so much potential, and it is rarely, if ever, met. This would have been good if we got to see Falcon Man disable these bombs and save the other guy. But we don't focus on that. It happens off panel. A big moment that could have given Falcon Man a hefty chunk of story and made readers invested in Falcon Man, or maybe even made readers like Falcon Man. We don't get that. We are given time to more generic action and snarling and pithy wrestling style trash talk between Captain America and the villains. And then 8-Man escapes. So really, you could have focused on Falcon Man and then cut back to Captain America going, oh, during all of that, 8-Man got away. 8-Man will return later into the run. Stan Jurgensen tries to deal with the him being a clone of Hitler thing. So that is the end of this story. 3 parts long. And really not a lot was accomplished in 3 issues. Even with the first issue being double-sized. We got some rudimentary Captain America action. That's nice. We had a hero fight a bad guy. Falcon Man could have done something cool, but we didn't see it. And then we have our subplots, which are moving along incrementally. The main one being the S.H.I.E.L.D storage facility subplot. This one has been paced so wrong. We spend 4 or 5 issues with people marvelling at what has been found. All I can say is I would have done it differently. This moves along so slowly as well, and it ends up being one of the main story arcs of the run. I suspiciously do recommend this story. The 3-part Captain America story that is alright is a godsend to someone who is consistently unimpressed with what is now considered the overwhelming majority of Captain America stories. This is one I keep wishing was better, but at no point does it slip below average. Serviceable superhero stuff. Nothing exciting, but nothing ridiculously bad either. 7 thumbs up.